You know, Mkudu spoke about the circle. I'd like to hand over to the audience. I'm sure there's some questions. Nakoge.
Yeah.
I knew that. Madam MC?
Jojo?
Thank you very much, Pablo. Now, I just wanted to say, kind of want to say, until the lion learns how to write, every story shall glorify the hunter. So thank you very much, Kudu, for really allowing us to get into your life and understand the man behind it. Man, that story of MI6 in Kulman, I wanted to ask you just to clap it and finish it. That one of those students. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah. This is because the thing, what I was teaching, the different culture and political, the geopolitics. So they got very good marks. And MI6 always go to universities where they recruit the best of the people that they want. Do you know? And those guys became very, very, very useful for us, right? And also another thing, you might even know Jibo Peto, anybody in London will tell you. I was sitting down there when somebody came to me and said, Chris, he said, come with me to the Black Consciousness offices in Houston. There are going to be 2 white people from Holland who were going to give money to PAC and Black Consciousness. They've given up giving it to the ANC. So you better come, right? And just come alone. I'll also be coming alone, me, myself. There are certain protocol things. So fine, I go there. I knock at the door, no one opens. I open the door, there are 2 white people are sitting there. And then I look around. There's no black person, there's no one. I said, where are these guys here? They said, no, one of them just stepped out and is just going to come back, here. I said, good. Then I started coughing. And then I had a bag of books in a parcel there. I said, I'm just getting to the shop. I'm just going to get some soda water. There's some tablets I'm going to take. They said, no, I can go for you. The other guy said, no, I can go for you. I said, no. I'm going there. Will you look after my stuff? He says, yes. Something told me that I should not be there. And I went away. Early in the morning, my house phone rings. Yeah, Jibo Peto, who's here in Midrand, rings me. He says, Pitika. I said, yeah. He says, are you alive? I said, yeah. Why? He says, have you been listening to the news? He said, yesterday when you left me, where were you going to? I said, I was going to 30 Kawa Street in Newton, where your offices are. He says, listen to the news. At 7:30, the place was bombed. I had left there, and I had left the place there at about 6:25. The place was bombed. Now, I'm waking up these people here. It turns up that it is that big, fat guy, Williamson. What? Craig Williamson. That was Craig Williamson's job. They were supposed to bump me off. That's why for me, I'm saying my ancestors. It's if I tell you something about spirit, you just would not actually believe. Jonathan there and this will tell you all the things that happened. Early last year, I was walking around in the mall with my wife, and I stopped and put my hand. Yes, he stopped. He said, "Are you all right?" I said, "I'm all right." He said, "What's wrong?" I said, "No, something has just struck me. I play an instrument. I'm a storyteller. I'm a historian. I'm a poet. I paint, I sculpt. All of these things. Where does the spirit actually come from?" And on top of this, I'm also a singer, and I've got all of these talents. Then I said, I am going to go up now on my spiritual journey, consciously, trace my origin, spirituality. And as sure as hell, I went. And then as I was doing this thing, my son was in Cape Town, phones me. He says, do you know a guy called David Hlongwane? He's an artist in Cape Town. I said, no, I don't know anything like that. He said, we're in a meeting. When he had Ntuli, he came to me and shook my hand and said, the only Ntuli I know is Pitika Ntuli. He said, no, that's my father. Then he said, no, 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 I really want to meet him. Then, sure as hell, I go up one morning to take a drive. And as I'm taking a drive, I see second-hand books in Parkview, in front of a second-hand bookshop. And I went in there, looked at one book, I pulled that book in there. I was with you, Jojo, even there, where I pulled that book with my picture there. I was sitting right in there with all those books. There's a thinnest leaflet book like this. I went for it and I pulled it up. When I opened it up, there is an article of mine. I can't even remember where that thing was there. So when I get this book, I take it home. When I get home, I open the book. What happens? Boom, a photocopy drops off. In this photocopy is an art review of an exhibition in Milan, in Italy, in 1988. Who is an artist? David Hlongwane. Just throw my phone. Yeah, it's David Hlongwane. The same guy my son, the same guy my son was. But then in the end, I start puzzling. I said, this cannot just be a coincidence. How can there be this thing? This guy contacted me, and on contacting me, I'm finding now his stuff here. What exactly is happening? Jojo, wait a minute. I'm lost now. Oh yeah, it's here. I think this is important just to show how it won't be a minute. Wait. Oh yeah. Now, Nsigi, who's a very brilliant poet and very reliable, will tell you that is the truth. Okay.
Here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What does it say here?
It says politicizing through art.
Politicizing through?
Art. And
right?
then there's a picture of David Hlongwane.
Yeah, there's David Hlongwane.
Uh-huh.
Just tell them what you find in the bag there.
Okay, you're talking about this letter.
What does it say? Just the first opening word.
Dear Mr. Ntuli.
Bring here.
And it's from David Hlongwane.
This guy in Milan in 1988 sent me a letter I received 34 years ago.
Yes, sis.
44 years from a second-hand book shop. Right. Yeah. And one other final thing. When this exhibition there, or the poems there, was in Durban, I had an interview with East Coast Radio. When I was sitting there in the East Coast Radio, here is this beautiful woman with big eyes. She's sitting at the table there. I just keep looking at her. Something kind of jogs me. I'm having an interview there. When I finish the interview, I come down and I go to her. I looked at her once, I said, you could be a Ntuli, are you? She said yes. Yes, she is. Yeah? Yeah, it is. Then the following day when we opened this big exhibition, she's the one who opened it. We only met for less than an hour. But but something told me it was this. Jojo, I'll introduce you. Jojo, come here. Jojo, just very quickly, do you remember the story of Z and me and a snake? Yes. Can you tell them?
No.
Because he's my manager, he manages it in my mind.
Okay, yeah, no, I think Z is a...
Can you just wait for the mic?
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, Z is a film director, so he was filming somewhere. So, and by that time they haven't spoken. So for him, he was Cool was driving, and just something just flashed in his car, and then he just stopped.
don't call my son something. Let me tell my story. Yeah, so I was coming from a shop, right? I was coming from a shop, and as I was driving, right on my windscreen, I see the picture of my son, just a second. I said, what's this? I pull the car around and I go for my phone. I phone him. I said, I know you are filming, but you came in front of my mirror. 10 minutes afterwards, he says, when your phone was ringing saying tweet, 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 the film crew was running away this way. A snake had just come out of there. It was coming. It was coming towards me.
Oh, wow.
Last week, on the same spot, I told you, Jojo, on the same spot, but going the opposite direction. I'm driving my car slowly. I see a man and a boy walking. This boy turns up, he looks at the car and so on. Of course, boys like cars. And as I pass in there, I see this boy. I said, He waves. When I'm in there, the way the boy looked at me, I stopped again, my car. Same spot. I greeted him and the father said, how are you? He said, good. I had a 20 rand in my pocket. I said, you go and buy sweets. He said, awu ngiyabonga, ngiyabonga. Ngithi mina wena ungibadi wena. You know what he said? Ngingusipho Ntuli. You know, when you talk spirit, once you are aligned with spirit, you do not fear anything. You are not alone. Utla ulifela phela.
It's so true. It's so true.
Waya. This is incredible.
Oh, that's
Come one. Oh.
Especially in PSC, it's like that kind of history is being forgotten, corrected and wrong. I heard with over 60s, Wabane gave PSC and then when we release all my see as I release, these are what I'm saying. It's called danger.
Yeah.
How come they're not released when we have a new South Africa and these people they were fighting the same fight in the ANC? And the only was released. I'm having a problem. What's the alarm? And why are we not doing anything as South Africans, especially when I was
Yeah. No, you're right. To answer you, why did I want to start with the question of coloniality? That's what you're addressing. Do you see? Because the people that are there, they do not control themselves. They are just mouthpieces of people, right? We are the RDP, Reconstruction and Development. What are we reconstructing? Let's reconstruct our education, our economy, and so on. And who is to do it? And how we are going to do it, right? We didn't do that. We threw it away. And then we had ACTEC, Arts and Culture Task Team. I was sitting in that. preparing of how the arts are going to be respected in South Africa and what we are going to do with the arts. We had great plans of creative cities, and so on and all. What happened to the document of the architect? They destroyed it. And then under Kada Asmal, then I was the one who was in charge of culture, art, and design when he was designing the national curriculum statement for further education and training, right? That document, what happened to it? Also, it's absolutely gone. Because the order does not come from us. Those powers out there are the ones that are dictating who we are, what we should do. So that's the part of it. I'm glad that you actually raised that. I just raised it up. I've rounded up about 15 professors. I seek a meeting with them. Then we are going to get teen opening, other people in it. With a group, it's not a party political thing. It's a think tank called National Interest Group. It's a national interest, not about me, it's not about PAC, it's not about anything else, but what does our nation need? What does it exactly lack, right? What are the challenges that we have? If we identify 10 challenges, which ones are we going to prioritize? What methods or methodologies are we going to use to address that question? What resources, material and human, do we need? How do we monitor and evaluate what we want to do? You get into a conference here, we speak so nicely, but there is absolutely nothing, Just imagine when you get into a conference and then you said, we've got scribes here, write down what we have resolved. We have resolved on point 1, this. Point 2, this. Whoever goes there, when you receive the thing, the program of action is already on you. But are they going to do that? No. Yo.
Sokoza njalo njela Spies kodide bobhele siyakulela basamafika mhlawumbe inkulu kakhulu socela sivule ku-Google bese sikugulisha ithakazelo zamaNtuli. I think we owe it to him and those who walk with him to praise his people. Not only for giving him the calling and him heeding the call at such a young age, but also for the protection that they've granted him. And for the near misses that have happened and they've intervened to ensure that he's still here today. So we can all say, Togoza, Ninabonjela, Kasombisi, Ogodide, Ombele, Ontuli-ke, iy'ntuli zazanje zomoya, bahlobene nabakwaMoyana, bahlobene nabo bonke iy'bongo ezithi Moya. Umoya wakhe, angazi noma uyawuzwa yini ukuthi, angazi ukuthi akangakanani, le phezulu. Yena just angazi kumnandi ukuthi umuntu aphile namhlanje aze egcine ekubona. Mina okwanginaye-ke kwavele kwayisimanga nje. Sile e-KZN SA khona art gallery cafeteria ngihlezi ngiphuza i-cappuccino nabo bahlezi eceleni nomkakhe bayaxoxa. And then uyangiqonda nje ukuthi awusiyena wakaNtuli. Hawu, ithi mina uhambe kanjani uzifike ekuthenini uyangibona ngamehlo ukuthi wakaNtuli. Hhayi, uthe kusuka lapho wathi kusasa e-art gallery, Durban Art Gallery, ngine-show ngiyaxolisa lokho ngihlale kakhulu ngaphandle naye futhi befika exile isikhathi esiningi. So-ke ngakusasa-ke imiloyo ngithatha isigodlo sami ngiyovula for the most incredible art exhibition I've ever seen. I've seen them in Europe, I've seen them in America, I've seen them everywhere. I've never seen anything like what he exhibited. Ngabona vele ukuthi Indlovu is his central totem.
Yeah.
Ngabona vele ukuthi umsebenzi wabantu abadala, but he works primarily with minerals, bones. Bones are memory. Bones are ancestral coding. And I'm not surprised that he's a spy and he talks spies from an age of, whatever. But I'm supposed to have a question. So, PC, sinesimo lana engasazi noma uzokwazi ukulekelela kusona. Iqhawe lethu uSteve Biko siyazi ukuthi ushoni kwashona nje hayi ukuthi there was a natural death. Njengoba wazi-ke ngokwesintu umuntu uhamba ngale ndlela ahamba ngayo, the brutal tortures and the death in foreign places like prisons for us, that is a death in foreign places. Ukuhamba kwakhe in that ejele vele siyazi ukuthi kufa abantu abaningi khona, but not only that, his death was a brutal one. So one of the main concerns thina-ke isigungwana nje esincane engisebenzisana nazo zingane edlozini, we are concerned about whether or not there was a cleansing of his state. There was done. There was a removal of his soul from the place where he died, properly to have him resting. If he is part of the Freedom Park settlement, now Ancestral, according to Umakosi Userote, he built that place for that kind of repatriation of souls. So, ngiyafisa mkhulu ukuthi usemkhathini uyayaluza noma idlozi lakhe lishashululiwe, zothula zonke lezi zinto ney'nkulumo, wakwazi ukuthi ewele engiphakathi kwesizwe sakhe kukhanyina.
Okay. That's a very touchy thing. People who are from KwaZulu-Natal or Durban, does anybody know who Dr. Peggy Shaban? Eh? You know him? Yeah. You ask him about what Ugogo had said here. I was in my office as a deputy vice chancellor at UDW. When behind the door there, I just said, there was somebody, breathing heavily. I had a meeting. Umas vulala kungena ugogo. And looks at us, he said, the spirit of the person I'm looking for is here. It's here. I don't know who he is, where he looks like. But I have to find that person. I'm going to say what it is. Who's identify again? Then brought up the same thing about the Mangnayaba and all and so on and so forth. Then he said, it's going to be your job, to do this. No, I'm an academic there. But immediately I said to myself, it's very because the Ntulis are the Zulu nation. That's why King Zwelithini in 1999 gave 9 farms to say, without these people, there could be no kingdom. There could be no kingdom here. All the generals from the time of Blood River to the defeat of the Brits, the Tulis are featuring there. So, that thing is coming back to me, this thing Oyenzai. we were supposed to be having somebody here who was going to join us, the brother to the current king, here, that raised that thing. So it's an issue that I'm taking very seriously. I've raised it with him, and I have to go down there, and to do it. For me, it's a spiritual duty that I have to perform. I cannot fold my hands.
Who are you when all you were has been diluted by lies and white lines cancelling out all that which has been written of your history? Why do you look at yourself as a mystery? Doesn't the sun shine because you open your eyes? Doesn't the moon stay situated within the same stars your DNA sparkles off? Your spirit knows that surely corner into it off. Buza umoya so you may return to being well off. Because spiritually you are rich, yet your ancestors cry because you are out of reach. But yours is to command all elements while God takes inspiration from the very mirror she looked at to become. Remember who you are and never finish just when they think that with you they are done.